Hi, I'm Arthur.
And I'm Miller.
And we're
Two Kids on a Couch. Hey there, and congratulations on making it to the third installment of our 2016 Tony Award series. In the previous episode, you've heard about the musicals and plays that were excited were nominated or bummed weren't nominated. But we want to give you a good overview of all the shows nominated, so we're going to pretty quickly run through the other plays that got recognized this season.
This is sort of an informational video so that when you're watching the awards, you'll be like, hey, I know what that's about.
This information won't be very inclusive, so we absolutely encourage you, if one sounds interesting, Google it, look up some videos, read some reviews. There's a lot of information out there that we can't give you because we don't want this to be half an hour long.
Nope. So, let's get things started. The first show we're going to talk about is Arthur Miller's Crucible. So, the Crucible is about the Salem witch trials in Massachusetts forever ago. People are excited about it because of the director Ivo Van Hove. Basically, he just strips the show bare and just focuses on the material and on the characters. He did a few things with changing up the ages of a few different characters. Some of them worked, some of them didn't, but all in all, it looks like a great show. The nomination for Bill Camp seems deserved. We haven't seen it, we can't say.
Yeah. Another play this season is The Humans. The Humans is the classic Broadway Tony Award winning play of a quirky family and middle class gets together for a holiday and have lunch and end up getting on each other's nerves. The two actors nominated for supporting were Jane Howdyshell and Reed Birney. I'm sure they were great. They might win. The supporting actors from these kind of family plays tend to win. It happens a lot.
It does.
So, I can't really tell you the odds. It did get more nominations than a lot of the plays this year. We won't really be rooting for it.
Another show that actually looks really interesting this year is called The Father. This is about an elderly man going through dementia, and he was kind of a jerk, and it's kind of him dealing with his own humanity. It's a lot like King Lear in that he was a jerk, but then he kind of goes through this awakening, and then he finds his sentimentality, and this one's like, no, he just kind of stays a jerk, and it's really sad. I mean, the show is well written, but not extraordinary. The big draw of this show is Frank Langella.
Frank Langella, though.
Who is amazing and flawless. He's been nominated for Best Actor in a Play, and I don't know much about the other nominees, but I think he might win, and I think he should win because he's great.
He's pretty
so, that's why people like the show. That's why anyone cares.
Another show nominated this year is Blackbird. This is a two-man show starring Jeff Daniels and Michelle Williams, who are both nominated. The plotline follows a man and a girl who had an inappropriate relationship when he was 40 and she was 12.
That's classy.
This is them 15 years later. She has maybe not broken out of a mental institution to find him at his place of work and just confront him about all of this baggage. It's apparently 80 minutes, no intermission, and very, very disturbing. These are some mentally scarred people going through some heavy stuff, and people say you leave feeling shocked and trembling and not pleasant. The play itself is nominated for Best Revival, and the two actors who give marathon in 80 minutes performances are nominated. I'm not sure that it will win because though it is heavy stuff, the stakes are so high throughout the whole show that there's not a lot of build. So I'd be surprised if it takes any awards, but I wouldn't be upset because both the acting and the writing is pretty on point.
Speaking of shocking and terrifying, the play Misery opened this year, and it was none of those things. It was based off of Stephen King's novel of the same name, and also the movie of the same name. And the movie and the book were both really creepy and chilling and suspenseful and you don't know what's gonna happen because they're all so tormented. And the play was just sort of tepid. The show follows Bruce Willis is in a car crash, and when he wakes up, he's in Laura Metcalf's home, who's a big fan of his because he's some famous novelist, and she starts to care after him, and he's like, oh, this is nice, but then it's oh, she's gonna keep me here until I die.
Been there.
Breaks his legs with a mallet, sledgehammer, things go a little south. It's a largely two-person show. There's Bruce Willis, who's the guy being captured by the psychopath of the lady Laura Metcalf. And what made Annie, which is Laura Metcalf's character, so scary in the movie and in the book was that she's a psychopath. But in the show, Laura Metcalf is such like a deep and like varied performer. And so you actually really felt for her. Even though they tried to make it scary, it wasn't. So it just didn't work.
Yeah. The show wasn't nominated for much.
Laura was nominated because she did a good job, even if the show sort of faltered around her.
Yeah. Another Arthur Miller play, also directed by Ivo Van Hove, is A View from the Bridge. This show follows a Brooklyn longshoreman who is really into his 17-year-old niece and doesn't really like the fact that she meets a hip new boy, and it's about all of the jealousy and all of the rage and all of the tragedy that comes after that relationship. Even though it closed back in February, it also got a lot of nominations for direction, revival, the lead actor, Mark, and Scenic and Light. It's worth noting that, like The Crucible, this was a super minimalist concept, and the fact that Set and Light still got nominated for a minimalist show means that it was like minimalist done right.
Yeah.
I expect this one is probably the front runner for direction. It was a revival exactly the way revivals should be. It really took Arthur Miller's classic, brought it into now, did it new, and did it right.
The next play is A Long Day's Journey Into Night. Now this one we're a little bit conflicted on. This show follows the Tyrones, who are, there's three main ones, and they're all kind of like, have each reached their own definition of a midlife crisis with like getting rehooked on opium or other drugs or coming down with like super serious illness. The reviews we read said it was good but not great. However, it got the most nominations of any play this year.
It got 7 nominations, including 3 for acting, 1 for directing for Best Revival, and, and a couple of design awards. So obviously somebody liked it.
So don't believe everything you read, but also don't believe everything the Tony nominators tell you was good.
Yeah.
So that's
Long Day's Journey Into Night.
meh.
Meh.
The last big show that we need to talk about is Eclipse, which also deals with some pretty dark subject matter. It's about a group of sex slaves in the Liberian Civil War. The show follows, I believe it's 4 women sex slaves, all from varying degrees of entrapment. Some have been there 10 plus years, others have been there days or weeks. And it's all about what levels of morality or dignity can and should be sacrificed for freedom or for peace of mind. It's a very interesting story with a lot of really great actresses. The most notable one in the cast is Lupita Nyong, who won the Oscar a few years ago for 12 Years a Slave and is killing it in this show.
So good.
So good.
Other plays that we've already talked about a little bit in previous episodes include King Charles III, the future history play about what would happen if Prince Charles became the king after Queen Elizabeth died. It's kind of told in Shakespearean blank verse, which is a cool concept. The lead actor, Tim Pidgett-Smith, is awesome and I think a good option for Best Leading Actor. The show did win Best Original Play in London last year, so it's also very much right up there this year. It closed a while ago, so that might hurt it.
It might. Another show that we talked about a little bit in previous episodes is Noise is Off. This is a delightful comedy, one of the very few comedies opened this year that at least did well. It's hilarious, it's got a great cast, and they made a movie of it, you should check it out.
We'd love to see it win stuff, but we know that it's not like a super deep, serious show, and those tend to do better.
Yeah, and it also wasn't necessarily revived in like an amazing way. The draw for it is, again, the cast.
Yeah.
Who are, great.
So we're a fan, but if it doesn't win, that's okay. We should also mention there's a few shows that only got nominated for their sets, and that's Huey and Therese McQueen. They were fine sets.
So those are all the plays we think you should know about for the Tony Awards coming up.
Tune in next time to hear us talk about the musicals you need to know about.
As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and enter our sweepstakes.
Hashtag Operation Desperation.
Stay couchy, friends. Alright. It's all fun and games till you shoot your co-host.